So, John Sheldon murder. I got more black hypocrisy coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense Logic Reason. As always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So, there was a tragic incident that happened in New York, and I believe it just recently happened on, I believe, May 1st. A black man by the name of John Sheldon was fatally stabbed on the train in New York. Now, he was 38 years of age. He was stabbed by an Hispanic man by the name of Luis Jose Duarte. And that suspect, Lewis, was inevitably arrested and charged for manslaughter. Now, reportedly, they were on the train, and Duarte stepped on Sheldon's shoe, and basically, Sheldon challenged him, stood face to face with him. A physical altercation started, and which Duarte stabbed Sheldon on the train and ran off the train as it was at the station and the doors were open. And Sheldon ran after him till he collapsed and he passed away. This is pretty much the story that happened. Now you may ask, well, where's the black hypocrisy in this? Well, many pro-blacks out there will side with Sheldon, right? They will demand justice for a cold-blooded murder. They will say that, Luis Jose Duarte we call him a punk ass bitch or something like that, because you in a physical confrontation and you pull out a knife, you pull a weapon out, that's a bitch move, that they would say. Well, the problem with this though is that what you saw happen in this incident is pretty much exactly the same thing we saw with Karmelo Anthony and also Medcalf incident, right? Karmelo Anthony was under someone else's tent. Duarte stepped on Sheldon's foot, invaded his space, right? Austin Medcalf addressed Karmelo Anthony and asked him to move, and Karmelo Anthony stood firm, while Sheldon stood up face to face to Duarte and challenged him on stepping on his foot, right? Austin Medcalf physically grabbed Karmelo Anthony and reportedly also his bag, the attempt to try to remove him from under the tent. Well, a physical altercation started out between Jose Duarte and John Sheldon. Karmelo Anthony took out a knife and fatally stabbed Austin Medcalf. Well, Duarte had a knife and fatally stabbed Sheldon. And then he ran. And just like Karmelo Anthony ran after stabbing Medcalf. So these cases are actually identical. But black folks will side with black. I guarantee you the majority of blacks, these pro-blacks, the same black people who say that Karmelo Anthony is innocent, will say that Duarte is guilty and they will demand justice, even though it is an identical situation. This is how leftists, this again, I would say black hypocrisy, but this is really a leftist. Leftists are hypocrites, but in this case, I'm dealing with black folks. Whenever you say that black people are hypocrites and these pro-blacks are hypocrites and they flip-flop on their stance, they'll say you're wrong. But I guarantee here, two different cases here, exactly identical, nearly identical, and I guarantee you black folks will support the black person in either. Now, conservatives, me personally, I say that both Karmelo Anthony and Luis Duarte is wrong for this. They both should be charged for murder because there's no justification for stabbing someone. That you can't say stand your own ground or self-defense. Again, in most cases across the country, all states have the same laws on this, where you have to show imminent danger to your life before you can plead self-defense. And I'm not seeing any imminent danger to any one of their lives in these cases. So both Karmelo Anthony and Luis Duarte should be charged for murder in these cases. Again, I operate based off the facts, but for some reason black folks don't. Now, given the fact that these two cases happened close to each other, and it was such a big deal made out of Karmelo Anthony that the smarter blacks, the more academic blacks will shy from this deal because they know they'll be called out on their hypocrisy. But if the Karmelo Anthony case would have never happened, and the John Sheldon case would have happened, all the blacks will be crying about how this is bloody murder and this is racism and Hispanic, or a non-black man kill another black man, so this is racism, and they will lose their mind over this. It's sad how hypocritical these people can be. Like I say, anyway, this is my 2 cents on this. This is more evidence of how blacks are hypocrites, and I guarantee you, if this case were to go out, it will be widely known as the Karmelo Anthony case. The majority of blacks will be crying for justice for Sheldon, and they'll be out there marching and protesting like they always do. Anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.